Uh, just one very first thing to ask that while I was, doing my bit of research on you, something I found that I find very, very interesting, uh, that if I can remember right, that you consider Michael Jackson as a role model. Is it true?
Mm, this was very long. This was very long time ago. I could not say this anymore today because of the accusations. It's a bit difficult.
Yeah.
When I was so when I said that, I could not say. I would not take this. I can explain it, but I would not say this today like this anymore. But of course, when I was a child, like everyone, I have grown up with Michael
Michael
Jackson.
Jackson.
And I always, when I refer to this gesture, it was also because it is pop, and also because remember this gesture he had to touch his penis on the stage.
Yeah.
Um, and I always thought it was very subversive to
Mm.
do this. Very, yes, the fact that I never saw it as something sexual.
Mm.
Actually, it was powerful to me to this trance or this way to incorporate this in. I always saw it, yes, as a very powerful transgressive gesture that we have all imitated. But of course, if you, even children, like, it was not sexualized, and that was for me the interesting point. The I didn't say it was a model. It was not a model, but I referred as people have accepted this gesture, worldwide. Um, I have to say, maybe there was a little influence
Yep.
when I was young. I grew up with it, and I was a fan. I saw him also, but then
Actually,
of
we
course,
all are. We
yeah,
all
we
were.
we all was. But
All were.
of course, this gesture today, I have to say that with the accusations that he had of pedophilia and everything, I don't know. Maybe we can also see it in another perspective. So I would not relate to it today without have a more critic eye on it.
Yep. Uh, then actually, what brings me to my next thing that I'm going to ask you, that I am very interested to know about, that how do you define a body? What is the definition for a female body, not a male body? How to define a a female body?
How do I define it?
Yeah.
Mm. Uh, it's difficult to respond to this question, but I would say in my work, uh, or when I pose under l'origine du monde, maybe I will refer to my work. Uh, I criticize the way that we have been for teach to watch at female nudity and l'origine du monde. When you the way historians speak about this vagina, about this body, as a very sulfurous, scandalous body. But if I watch it with other eyes, with I cannot actually, who say she could also be a lifeless model.
Sure.
I can see the I can see life, but I can also see death. And I would say that the very important thing to relate your question to my work, it's to the way I expose my body has really something to do with criticizing this incorporated morbidity in the way that we have been conditioned to watch women's bodies. I give a better example. For example, l'origine du monde, it's a vagina, a body that you can watch, but that cannot watch back. So there is no reciprocity. And when I pose on l'origine du monde with my body, it's a very strong affirmation of life. There is really something where I say we women are not um, empty bodies, disincarnated bodies, as but we are. I'm alive, and so my protest or my critique really, and the fact that when I open my vagina, I say often there is something where I say I'm alive. It's very related to not to that. Yeah, how can so I maybe I can respond in this way. So I could not define myself like what is a body, but of course I can point the fact that female bodies and the way we watch it, there is something of violent morbidity that I want to create a rupture with, a break.
Yep.
Comment on dit, une rupture? I don't know how to say that. Where my work wants to, I cannot say it in English. I want to break with this
Yep.
misogynistic tradition, but in the same time, I inscribe myself. I dialogue with these paintings.
Sure.
So it's not a pure activist dialogue with the work,
Yep.
because it's more an artistic dialogue with the work.
Sure. Sure.
Pardon. So I break tradition with the perception that is visible in L'Origine du Monde, the perception of the vagina, this vagina without own subjectivity, but in the same time I dialogue with the painter, with the painting.
Sure.
Yeah, so it's
Uh,
double.
and actually, this what you just told, I find it really very interesting. In one of your interviews, what I found in on on internet, there I found that there you said that as for me, with my symbolic act, I position myself without permission and without a license as an a priori passive model opposite of Gustav Courbet. So what
Mm.
do you actually mean by this a priori passive model? Are you replacing the actual model?
Ah, you mean with the apparently passive model? So what I mean is that um, I when I say apparently, I mean I don't say what I mean. What I mean, I say more what the viewer, or what we are
Actually, what
used
you
to
said,
see.
a priori, APRIORI, a
Uh,
priori or a priori.
in French, you say apparemment, apparently. So
Yep.
it means like you can believe I'm passive in this
Mm.
position because we have been taught to think an open vagina or is an offering vagina and not a penetrating vagina, for
Yep.
example, or we have been taught
Mm.
to watch at female nudity but not to feel watched by female nudity. This is for me the position of the what we call the object. So so when I pose on the L'Origine du Monde, opening my vagina, opening my legs, being naked, I have conscience that of course I reactivate this imagination, this misogynistic imagination that
Yep.
we have, so that
Yep.
of course I know that people will project um, somehow can project passivity in my position.
Yep.
And really I think that's why also I open my vagina to be in somehow to provocate the to go in the deepest idea of this passivity, but in the same time I do it not to incarnate this passivity, because for me there is nothing passive in it, of course. But so I play with this possibility of projection of passivity, but in the same time I do it to reverse, actually, in this position, to reverse the idea that we can have of what it is to be an object, even if it's not conscious and conscient. So in this position, I reverse, as you understood it well in your
Yep.
article, the point of view, because I actually watch back. I'm a living model. I'm not a and so that's very clear. That's why I'm a performer. That I could also and also yeah, and in doing this, I reverse the traditional point of view
Yep.
on a historical point of view,
Yep.
and I point the comment dire, I mm, it's a way to criticize, of course, this oppressive uh, one way gaze, that is the symbolic gaze of the
Yep.
artist watching at the model,
Mm.
and of the society watching at the body, etc.,
Oh,
etc.
sure. Actually, could you please tell me something about your work process? I mean, do you like daily, kind of a visualize what you are planning to do before having a kind of a show, like you did in Paris a number of times? Before staging the actual show, do you visualize this daily?
If I before doing a performance, first I do a lot of research,
Yep.
because I consider myself as a, that's why I love your article because actually you point the concepts which
Yeah.
people normally don't even, a lot of critics,
Thanks.
or there is not a lot of people that see the concept. When they see a body, they see a body, they don't see a concept. So first I conceptualize always the work, like, anyway, my work is my performances are only a way for me to improve this concept that is interesting me, since I'm obsessed by this question of the body, and the female body and the gaze, and this is really a way that I have, this is the way I wanted to challenge representation, to challenge um, this dichotomy, and the heteronormative society and the institutions. So for me, first, this is the first thing, and second, um, there is a lot of work, like I could do it in so many different ways. For example, l'origine du monde, there is something, that's very personal, that's something what it was very, in this performance there is something very how can I say, mystical somehow. Also
Yeah.
the fact that I use Ave Maria, that I wanted to sublimate it. It was
Yep.
important for me to to do something which could also challenge the real l'origine du monde, because
Mhm.
to go there and just be naked doesn't make a piece of art of it. What makes the piece of art is everything together, the composition. So I have a lot of work. I had to be exactly in this place. If you see the picture, not the performance, if you see the picture,
Yeah.
it's very composed. I had to study exactly where I have to sit for to be exactly in the middle. My feet are very symmetric.
Yep.
The neck, what I trained them, of course, also this gesture to open the vagina. I had to train it a lot because I didn't want it to. I didn't want it to be something that could be confused with comment dire, mainstream pornography. Not
Yep.
because I reject, but it's different. I had to we are so used to see this gesture in
Mm.
mainstream pornography
Mm.
without any aesthetic research, that of course I had to have an empowering gesture. I had to deconstruct all this representation that we are used to see, uh, and to propose somehow a very noble way to also to challenge the masterpiece somehow, and because it's an important piece. And so all these questions, yes, the way I train a lot before the performances. I train the pose.
For how
Everything is
many weeks
important.
or how many months?
It no, not so. It's not months. It's more that what takes a lot of time is the conceptualization first.
Yep.
That comes with the years. I can know years before that I will do something, and then some things I keep, some things I don't. And I knew, I think, like I don't know, 3-4 years before that I will do this performance.
Oh my
But
goodness.
I knew it, but so it stays in your mind, and you
Yep.
just continue to think about it. Um, but I did other things before, like which were somehow easier to do. there were pictures. I started to do pictures before, where I would go in galleries and just take a picture and not stay, because I knew the performance where I really stay and confront because performance is in time. It's not like you do a picture and you go. So I knew the performance would be under l'origine du monde, even if I had already done many pictures with my open vagina and naked body in different galleries, which were interesting pictures, were also related always with the for example, I did a picture in front of Anish Kapoor, le vagin de la reine,
Yeah,
this sculpture.
I know
I
Anish
have a
Kapoor. Yeah,
picture,
Anish Kapoor, I know.
this big sculpture of
Yeah.
called the vagin de la reine. I have a picture in front of this big vagina with like this, and it's a very interesting picture also. But when I do a picture, so I did all these pictures before, so I have this series which is called Mémoire de l'origine, and it looks like if I would exhibit them, it would look like the model goes out of the frame of l'origine du monde and goes like challenging the art world in
Yep.
different exhibitions.
Yep.
But the performance was only on the l'origine du monde. But now I think I didn't answer to your question anymore. Just okay, so to say that I'm constantly working and constantly thinking, and then sometimes I see a form or I say, okay, I have it, I will do this, and I do it. But yeah, there is also for Louvre, par exemple, in Louvre, where I jump on I trained I trained some 2 weeks maybe, because I had to measure how big. I had to go in the museum before and
Yeah.
measure how big, and so I had to train to
Yeah, it's a
jump.
performance. Yeah.
Yes, because if I wouldn't have trained before to do it, I could never go and reach because it was high. So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
was because of the training.
Actually, just two or three things. Do you like watching films? And if you do, who is your
What?
favorite filmmaker?
If I love filmmakers,
Yeah, I mean, do you like watching films? And if you do, if you like watching films, who is your most favorite filmmaker? If you can put it that way.
as a filmmaker that I really appreciate is John Cassavetes. And one of I would not say my favorite, but the film that have inspired me, but in a good way, and in also and a film that I will critique someday. But I don't know if it's Une sale histoire. It's called Une sale histoire. It's from Jean Eustache, and it's actually it's very related to L'origine du monde, because it's a film of a man. It's very subversive film that is you have no images, you have just this man talking, and he speaks about him following women and watching the women in the toilet. There is a little hole in the toilet, and
Yeah,
he
people.
watches them, and all the film is about this. And it has inspired me because I want to criticize it, of course, because for me this film, which is actually interesting somehow, is also a very contestable film, because but the subject interests me to reverse again, to propose a cinematographic version,
Yeah.
which would be again the mirror or the contrary, to propose the point of view, of course, of the female sex. So when I choose a piece, but this is more related to my work again. But so I could speak about these two films. But John Cassavetes, I just love John Cassavetes because I love him, and I love him as a filmmaker. And there is not a direct relation to, I would say, to my subject.
Anish Kapoor is actually by birth he's an Indian, but actually he lives in UK. Apart from Anish Kapoor, do you know anything about any Indian artist or any Indian painter, Indian sculptor?
No, I don't know. I would not say like this. I could not say a name like that now. But you can
Yep.
tell me.
There are a lot. I will of course send you some links where you can get to see uh, some very interesting works are being done, have already been done, and are being done also. And actually, India is now in the process of a kind of a like a like, if I can put it that way, transgressive moment, as because there were a generation of painters and sculptors and artists who did their works in their own way, but now of late a new breed of artists have come up, and they are doing things their own way. So India, I think, and actually, Indian museums, Indian galleries, I can tell you since last 10 years, there has been a kind of huge kind of a change in the attitude towards the art, attitude towards appreciating the art, and attitude toward what is an art and what is not. Uh, Maybe when I was a bit younger, maybe 20 years back, things were not the same. But now, uh, the entire art scenario, this is going through a huge kind of a change. I'm afraid, I think this Zoom meeting will end just 5 minutes after. So it's just
Okay,
30 minutes. So hope to see you
we
again.
can.
Hope to
Yes,
see you.
of course. It was a pleasure to meet you. And also, I had a lot of questions to you also because I was so amazed by your point of view on my work because it was so, it's like you really understood it profoundly. So, I actually, if we could talk, uh, I'm not used that, it's rare that also art critics or critics really work on this seriously. I have more mainstream media that comments my work, so it's more rare to have a really
Deborah,
artistic point
let
of
me
view on
tell
it.
you,
So that's
sorry,
why it was
sorry to
important.
interrupt you, but let me tell you from the core of my heart that I found what your performance is philosophical, to say the least. I found, and also when you just I mean had a chat, and when you spoke, my position stands vindicated, that your work is highly, I must say, highly philosophical. And actually
Thank you.
this is a comment. Your each and every of your performances are a comment on the civilization, on the way we look at things, on the way we look at the female body, and this so-called male gaze. uh, uh, d- have you read one article by Laura Mulvey? uh, this is called visual pleasure and narrative cinema. Have you read this
Yes,
article?
I know, but I didn't read it, but I know about it, of course.
I will send you the
But
link.
really, it's really interesting for me to see the yes, to see your analyze of my work, and also because um, you see the theory behind the work and you look for the theory and behind the work, and which is also very yeah, it's interesting for me because actually it's like you are not conditioned. I mean, you don't stop on the body, on the feminist questions. It is feminist for me, the fact that you analyze this piece as a piece of art, um, and to for me actually this is it's the best, it's the feminist point of view. It is the best feminist point of view I can have on my work, uh, because it means that you consider it as art. And most of the time I'm more used of I have nothing, of course, against activism in the most strict way, but I'm more used that my work is analyzed or as a scandal for misogynistic
Yeah,
reasons or ignorance, or in a superficial way, or in the best case, it's analyzed like it's not analyzed, it's interpreted like purely and simply activism and not art, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's why really I thank you again for that.
Thanks a lot. I think
Mm.
this meeting is going to end now, just in a minute. So hope to see you again, and hope to take it
Me too.
further. Hope to carry it
Yes,
forward.
with pleasure. we
Sure.
can we can
Thanks.
dialogue anytime you want. I'm really or
Sure,
not.
Deborah. Thanks a lot for
My
being here.
different way.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Bera.
Thanks.
See you again. Bon nuit.
Bye. Bonne nuit.
Bon nuit.